Hello, friends. Welcome back to this new book reading session. We are reading the book Guru Leela Volume 5 Dimension Beyond Horizons. We'll be starting a new chapter today Awakening to the Myth of Free Will. That's written by Sasha Mihik from Serbia. Little bit about Sasha. Sasha from Serbia has been connected to Mohanji since 2012. A yoga expert, she currently functions as a teacher with the Himalayan school of traditional yoga established by Mohanji. There's a picture of Mohanji and then Sasha with Mohanji. You can see it. Coming back to the chapter, Awakening to the Myth of Free Will. Right at the beginning, I have to say that I always had a wonderful life as far as material things are concerned, as well as the love of my beautiful family. I never lacked anything and I always had everything I needed and more. This only means that I had chosen perfect parents to whom I am grateful for accepting me as their daughter. Since childhood, I have been tormented by questions on meaning of life. That is to say, its meaninglessness. Doing it really all come does it I'm sorry does it all really come down to being born, studying, working and dying? In one word, suffering. What's it all for? I had 1,001 questions to which my mother could not answer, so in the end she even bought me a book, 1000 questions and answers, thinking that this would put her out of her misery. However, I found no answers to my questions in that book. I recall how even in preschool I was pondering upon the question, if I hadn't been born and did not exist in the world, would I know that? My intensive search for answers began in the year 2000 when I fell into depression. That's when, for the first time, I experienced homeopathy, which without a doubt helped me the most. The cause of my sorrow was the course of my life, which was no longer going down the normal path upon finishing the secondary school. Everyone around me was finishing their studies on time, getting a job, getting married, having children, while I felt completely stuck in the midst of it all. Absolutely nothing in my life went the way it's prescribed and it should be. Of course, that's when I started reading books, many books on spirituality. One of the first ones was Awakening, which was bought once again by my lovely mother, who made the right choice this time. Excuse me. After that came other books, TV programs, videos, followed by workshops on psychological well being and self help, which I practiced scrupulously, continuously, and for a long time to change my life in a material sense. And by that, I don't mean just financially. But nothing was happening. While applying each of those methods, I always develop a big expectation. I wouldn't have been doing them in the first place if I hadn't been expecting some positive results, at least in some aspects of life. But nothing was happening. Afterwards would always follow disappointment and sorrow. And then I would lift myself once again, giving it another try, which would always end up with the same negative outcome. Then came May 2013, and my first meeting with Mohanji in a satsang in Novaisar. I remember him answering the first question of free will, saying in the first sentence that free will is just a myth and it only exists before we take this body. At that moment, I had a feeling as if I was relieved of an enormous burden, and I felt an incredible lightness. Since then, I started attending the meditations regularly, and the next year followed the first retreat as well. Soon, I discarded all the techniques I used to practice, which were only adding to my burden, and I simply started gradually accepting life circumstances. Thanks to Mohanji, I now realize the only thing that I can change in life is the way in which I perceive my situations in life and nothing else. And even more important, I was paying less and less attention to what others thought I should do with my life and whether they thought my lifestyle was normal or not. Peace started settling within me. Of course, this peacefulness still gets disrupted, but the states of peace and bliss are becoming longer and longer. My life, as seen from the outside, was still the same. Nothing has changed. I still don't have a normal steady job or my family, husband, or children. I have nothing that is considered normal. However, deep inside, I have changed. I no longer have expectations, and for that reason, I also don't have disappointments because of something that didn't happen. I accept life situations more and more, and the urge for an impulsive reaction is less. I also started realizing myself. I'm sorry. I also started releasing myself from the guilt for not doing things differently. I stopped forcing myself to be something I was not. And all those people who were making me feel guilty and who had plenty of wise advice for me are gone from my life. I also started interfering less in other people's lives with my advice as I finally realized that everyone has their own path to follow and that it could be no other way, no matter how disastrous this path might look to us, the outsiders. Naturally, I'm still far from that complete inner purity, and I still get upset, bothered, and angry by others. But when it happens, I'm aware of my anger and I try to see the situation from a different perspective. For who am I to determine whether something is right or wrong and whether someone should behave differently? Apart from meditations, conscious walking, kriya, and yoga, I found incredible help in Mohanji's blogs that I have been translating for a long time. My modest volunteering and engagement for Mohanji Foundation. I am very grateful for this opportunity to do something that I immensely enjoy doing and which is at the same time beneficial to others as well. Never in my life I have searched for a guru, nor did I have any idea what is the purpose of having one. It all simply happened the way it did because it had been written so. Even before we came here, just like Mohanji said, I try as much as I can to go with the flow of life, resist less, and give my maximum in the given circumstances. And all those other desires that I used to have, I no longer yearn for. If they are meant to come true, they will, at the right time. If not, it only means they weren't supposed to happen in the first place. I'd like to express my infinite gratitude to Mohanji for finding me, as well as to all the people who led me to him, and to all those who helped me realize Mohanji's immense spiritual power. Not everyone has the privilege to comprehend his immense spiritual stature and power. I don't know if hadn't been surrounded by such. I don't. I'm sorry. I don't know if I would have if I hadn't been surrounded by such wonderful people who helped me. Finally, of course, I would like to express my gratitude to my wonderful parents and the entire family. They have been supporting me immensely in all this, in every sense of the word. Infinitely grateful. That's the end of the chapter. Awakening to the myth of free will. The next page has a message from Mohanji. I'll just read it out before we end today's session. There are some couple of pictures also of Mohanji, if you can see. Practice positivity at all times and forget about negativity. Whenever there is positivity, there is negativity. Whenever there is light, there is a shadow. You cannot do anything about it and you should not worry about it. When you are consistently focusing on positivity, you are automatically being purified. That is all you need, and that will bring all the right frequencies into you. Remain pure, remain love. Pure and love in the capital letters. Mohanji. So the message is to practice positivity and ignore the negativity. Remain pure and remain love. That's the message. And the pictures, the beautiful pictures of Mohanji. We'll end today's session here itself, and next week we will start another new chapter. Till then, take care and have a good rest of the week. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jai Mohanji.